Hi, everybody. So I want to tell you a story of this immature boy that I'm seeing currently. Um, we've had sex it's just like it was probably 15 minutes once in the past 3 months. So June, July, and August, we had sex like for 15 minutes once a month. And I met this guy in November. He was like a manager at a store in the mall, the Woodlands Mall, and it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And of course, I was new to the area because, a year ago, on September 1st, I moved to Grand Rapids. And I stayed in the country until like the beginning of November. So he hired me, and he ended up firing me after like 1.5 weeks. And he's like, yeah, you're hired, whatever, because they just needed help. And I'm like, great. And so he's like, as long as you pass the interview with the district manager, you can be hired. He said, it's fine with me, but you have to go through her. So, I talked with her, and actually the situation was pretty stupid to me. Because, I was supposed to be hired. People say like different things, but to me, I was either like lead salesperson or assistant manager, or at least a key holder or some type of a supervisor, shift leader, or manager. And then, the guy that I'm talking about, the manager that hired me, this boy that I'm seeing, he was like, well, he said his other manager named Anna she was having problems or something. So there was like a lot of temporary or permanent associates in that store, but honest to God, I don't think any of them had been there longer than a year, except for possibly the little boy that hired me, which I wasn't impressed at all, it's all great because you can tell that he was there for his looks, and apparently he's like a model or something. But, he hasn't been on MTV or VH1. He doesn't play any musical instruments. He says he sings, but I've never heard him sing. And his personality is very bland and boring. He's a very boring person. He doesn't even bring me a sandwich or anything. He just gets drunk. And, he hasn't offered me drugs, but I'm sure that if I wanted them, that he would get them for me. So the point is that I'm not really impressed. This guy was in the mall because obviously it's a mall rat, and they're hired like for their looks basically, and like for how much they can like bring. But me, I'm a bigger star than that, so I'm not really impressed. And of course, the district manager was ugly as hell. She was some old fat lady, and all the employees looked the same. Like when you walk in, you're like, it's like, I see white people. Like, they were all white and they all wore glasses. And I'm like, have you not heard of contact lenses or makeup? Or they kind of looked like shit. Oops. They didn't know how to dress. Their clothes weren't ironed. They weren't wearing blazers. And it's like, I don't want to work here. This job is a fucking joke. And, they're like, well, and, they sat me down. They're like, well, we're going to have to let you go because you were late a couple times and you were like, no show. And I'm like, y'all can just fuck yourself because honestly, this is like incesticide, like literally not for me. I am a much bigger star than all of you. So if you're still in that mall or in that area, great. Good for you, honey. Good for you. But I'm moving on, as I told this little boy. So, apparently so far he hasn't blocked me, or I don't get it. He looks very sick to me. Like, I'm not saying he has AIDS or HIV virus as of yet. But I'm simply saying, like, of course, he's very, very scrawny, and, like, I don't think he eats, and possibly he might be on drugs or whatever. But I'm just keeping him around for entertainment, and as a punching bag because I don't give a shit about him. And I don't think he gives a shit about me either, babies. It's like, wow, mutual not caring at all. Isn't that great? So I just wanted to tell you folks the story of the little boy that I'm seeing, and I don't care or give a shit about him. But he looks good though. And I think he's gay, so yeah. Bye. Mwah.